You surely already know about the wealth and glamour of Dubai, that dazzling desert metropolis where skyscrapers pierce the clouds, and man-made archipelagos jut audaciously into the Persian Gulf. A realm of unrestrained opulence and ambition where the wildest feats of engineering and architecture have quite literally reshaped the Earth's surface. But do you know the truth that the rulers of this place desperately want to hide? The dark underbelly obscured by all the glittering beauty. Behind those incredible skyscrapers that look so pristine from afar lie darker stories, tales of exploitation, shattered dreams, and a seedy world operating in plain sight yet strategically obfuscated from outsiders' view. Intrigued? You should be, for today we're pulling back the curtain and exposing 10 shocking facts about Dubai that the authorities would prefer remain unspoken. Be prepared to have your perspective on this gilded urban spectacle permanently shifted as we peel back each shocking layer. Let's get straight to the first fact, one that speaks directly to Dubai's unabashed culture of excess. Imagine this: you're wandering the opulent Dubai Mall on the hunt for the perfect gift to bring back from your Arabian dream vacation. As you stroll past the Cartier and Rolex boutiques, something catches your eye as specialized ATM dispensing pure, gleaming gold bars and coins of the finest 24-karat variety. Yes, you read that correctly. In Dubai, you can withdraw gold directly from ATMs that offer bullion in various weights and sizes. These peculiar machines are equipped with state-of-the-art technology that automatically updates gold prices every 60 minutes, based on real-time market rates, ensuring your newly acquired treasure maintains its value down to the second. But Dubai's obsession with outrageous indulgences pales in comparison to the sobering reality awaiting just past the city's dazzling veneer, exemplified by our next disturbing fact. Brace yourself. While the man-made archipelagos of the world and Palm Jumeirah grace postcards and brochures as mastery over nature, slave labor formed the very foundation that allowed these islands to impossibly rise from the Persian Gulf's depths. Thousands upon thousands of migrant workers, many from impoverished South Asian nations like Bangladesh, India, and Pakistan, have comprised the invisible workforce forced to literally move mountains and reshape the earth. These laborers toil under conditions civil society would deem utterly inhumane, sweltering in temperatures exceeding 50 C in the height of summer, enduring around-the-clock shifts sometimes lasting over 12 backbreaking hours in the desert sun, and living in cramped, unsanitary labor camp barracks with minimal access to clean water and sanitation. Their paychecks a mere pittance compared to the multinational corporations, profiting from their blood, sweat, and too often shattered dreams of a better life. As we watch gigantic construction cranes slowly rising yet another seemingly impossible super tower piercing the clouds, it's gut-wrenching to imagine just how many human souls suffered immeasurable tolls to birth each architectural behemoth. While Dubai's immigrant labor abuses are already appalling enough, there's an even darker layer operating in the shadows that will leave you recoiling. We're talking about the widespread presence of prostitution, sex trafficking, and deceptive labor practices exploiting vulnerable women from all across the third world. Despite the city's carefully cultivated image of shimmering opulence and conservatism, a lurid and tragic criminal underworld persists, catering primarily to privileged foreign tourists seeking pleasures prohibited in the cultural landscape of the Arabian Peninsula. From dingy back-alley brothels and shady massage parlors to high-end escort services operating in cahoots with Dubai's most luxurious hotels, the commercial sex trade proliferates in this supposed utopia. Most heartbreaking of all are the innumerable stories of naive young women from deeply impoverished nations, lured by false promises of legitimate employment as domestic workers or service staff, only to be smuggled into the way and forced into sexual slavery upon arrival. Their passports confiscated, their struggles for freedom met with brutal violence and threats to their loved ones back home. These trafficked women become prisoners in a living nightmare from which escape seems impossible. As we confront these ugly truths obscured by Dubai's manufactured facade of decadence and dazzle, our perspectives cannot help but shift. What was once a sight that sparked reveries of fantasized jet-setting opulence now carries an unavoidable emotional weight. a persistent flicker of conscience we cannot simply ignore. Perhaps that's why Dubai's rulers seem so desperate to constantly amplify the spectacle to stratospheric levels. When you see a video of a $6.5 million police fleet comprised of Lamborghinis, Bugattis, and other ultra-rare supercars painted in obligatory green and white livery, it plays like an obvious distraction. An overt flex of unfathomable wealth presumably intended to make you forget all about human suffering. Or what about Dubai's famous abandoned and decaying supercars? Those once uber-exclusive badges of status symbols like Ferraris and Bentleys now withering away in the scorching heat, seemingly left behind without a second thought when dreams of success and fortune turn to financial ruin. These haunting monuments to excess and hubris hint at a collective delusion, an artificial high achievable only for a fleeting moment before the bottom inevitably falls out. Al Arab Hotel, unofficially deemed the most luxurious accommodations on Earth. This sail-inspired architectural marvel is a gaudy paean to opulence, bedecked at seemingly every turn in swaths of 24-karat gold. From the Burj Al Arab's glistening atrium and grand staircase to gold-plated everything in the room's TVs, sinks, furniture, you can't help but feel the relentless flaunting of riches here is no mere interior decoration choice but an inescapable flex intended to induce culture shock in mere plebeians unused to such indiscriminate displays of wealth. Perhaps that's why even the most basic and seemingly innocuous norms command such strictness in Dubai, as if the slightest suggestion of impropriety or offense could result in punishments swift and severe. Don't believe us? Just try eating or drinking on Dubai's metro, where enforced cultural etiquette prohibits such a blasphemous act within the sanctity of public transit. In a way, all these shocking layers and observations serve to heighten our curiosity about this proud yet undeniably controversial land. What other salacious truths lurk under the carefully curated surface? What societal mores and customs belie cultural attitudes and divisions we can barely fathom from our outside perspectives? One thing is for certain: we can never again view Dubai as a mere adult playground of indulgences and man-made wonders architected to visual perfection. The deeper secrets and rifts pulsing through the city's energetic core have been forcibly laid bare, and the path forward requires choosing whether to carry these weighty revelations with us or simply move on in willful ignorance. For anyone looking to truly see Dubai for what it is, opulence intermingled with injustice, ambition juxtaposed with despair, delusion cloaked in gold continuing to dig deeper, is the only enlightened path forward. As our window into this multi-layered, multifaceted realm comes to a close, one final, sobering reality beckons. Despite Dubai's best attempts to project an image of wealth, grandeur, and progress at all costs, even this indoor ski paradise complete with lazy rivers and simulated Arctic environments cannot obscure the oppressive heat beating down on this desert mirage. No artificial snowmaking or chilled indoor environments can ever fully deny the sun's scorching dominance in this land of contradictions and incongruities. A temporary novelty at best, yet even within this over-the-top endeavor designed to spark awe and wonderment in visitors, the sweltering desert reality awaits just beyond the exits. For a place so obsessed with reshaping its very environment through sheer force of mega-project will and boundless capital, nature itself refuses to be so easily subdued. The desert's implacable heat is always there, looming unavoidable even within Dubai's hallmark air-conditioned oasis, like an omnipresent force resisting total domestication no matter how far these visionary architects and dream weavers push the boundaries. This conflict, this uneasy dance between Dubai's ambitions for a finely curated mirage of decadence and the rabid, untamed truth clawing from deep within, is perhaps the truest distillation of the city's magnetic allure and repulsive traits. An obsession with not just profligate wealth exhibits but the bold stamping out of anything even remotely intruding upon the fantasy-sapolis sold to high-rolling thrill-seekers. Yet for all the smoke and mirror deceptions deployed to heighten Dubai's portrait of pure indulgences gratified at every turn, the native population remains bound by strict cultural codes that seem almost antiquated compared to their ultra-modern city's most avant-garde strands. a paradox that becomes increasingly glaring the deeper you delve. Take for instance the deeply entrenched prohibition on something as innocuous as exposing the soles of one's feet in Dubai's aggressively upscale public spaces. Rooted in Islamic teachings, the Quran instructs that Muslims must wash their feet before prayer. The foot is considered the dirtiest part of the body. By extension, any public display of foot bottoms or soles is deemed an unconscionable violation of decorum deserving of harsh scorn and judgment. This hypersensitivity to foot exposure etiquette manifests in fascinating ways throughout Dubai. Just picture a lavish evening soiree unfolding at one of the Emirates' exclusive resorts or private residential high-rises. Ritzy crowds of socially refined socialites draped in designer fashion sipping champagne, when a boorish out-of-towner unknowingly lets his flip-flopped feet skim across a tiled ottoman. You can almost envision the dagger stares and quiet tongue clicks reverberating across the courtyards as ultra-wealthy Emiratis silently condemn this breach of decorum from the uncultured interloper. No matter how transcendent their haven of grandeur or certifiably futuristic the setting, certain customs tied to religious foundations run too deep to be so easily discarded. Perhaps this profound reverence for age-old traditions is the balancing yin to Dubai's all-encompassing yang-like hunger for bigger, bolder, gaudier monuments to modernity, and mankind's indomitable will to reshape existence into artificial playscapes. An eternal clash of sensibilities and diverging trajectories destined to coexist in this white-hot global curiosity. Even the most cursory exploration of Dubai's id reveals these intriguing tensions and juxtapositions between unchecked ambition and reputational protectionism in nearly every facet of the local culture and societal experience. It's as if the more aggressively the city unveils each shiny new ego-driven megatower slicing through the sky, the more fiercely it cultivates an image of cherished tradition and restraint on the human experience. This maelstrom of contradiction, where cultural evolution and fevered bouts of futurism exist in a constant gravitational tug-of-war, is precisely why Dubai sparks such unending scrutiny and insatiable curiosity. It's a place that punches you in the gut with its dualities and paradoxes as frequently as it seduces with its tantalizing visions of sublimely attained perfection. For every revelation that seeks to tarnish Dubai's meticulously polished self-mythology, there always seems to be a counterbalancing wow factor designed to overwhelm and recapture our dreamer imaginations all over again. An infinite cycle of aspiration, deflation, and reinvention that endlessly wins and wins. Therein lies the true magic of this deeply flawed yet perpetually fascinating paradise of ambition, inequity, and audacious visions grander than perhaps humanity has ever dared fathom. No matter how mercilessly we analyze and deconstruct Dubai's id, it always regenerates, shapeshifts, evolves, and us strikes yet again. In that way, Dubai is the ultimate personification of our global civilization's grandest yearnings for the future. Built opulence manifested, tempered by the nagging acknowledgments that such unprecedented growth and glitz comes at a society splintering cost that proves more insidious and pervasive the closer you look. So gaze deeply into Dubai's lustrous, metal and glass high-rises stabbing the clouds like immortal obelisks, and ask yourself what truths about ambition, identity, environmental audacity, and unbridled human appetites are being broadcast in this city's very existence. Dubai may not hold all the answers, but it undoubtedly embodies and amplifies the questions we all must confront as our march toward tomorrow accelerates. Ultimately, Dubai is far too intricate and maddeningly contradictory a urban phenomenon to ever be flattened into reductive narratives about good or evil, enlightened or morally bankrupt. It is a living, pulsing superorganism reflecting humanity's greatest triumphs and unrestrained ego, while also laying bare some of our most glaring flaws and societal fragmentations. Does that knowledge spark your curiosity and appetite to understand this place even more? Or simply induce further uncertainty about the world we've constructed? Perhaps the greatest revelations await those bold enough to travel there and confront the intoxicating, bewildering, scandalous truths firsthand. So what will it be? Will you seek to understand Dubai for all its grit and complexities? or remain willfully enamored by its meticulously curated facade of ultra-modern decadence and spectacle. The path you choose from here may ultimately reveal more about yourself than this city's magnetic allure ever could. Click the subscribe button now and click the video popping now on your screen.